Kohima, Mon, Dimapur, Oting, Shillong, Imphal, Delhi, Guwahati, Bangkok. The murder of 14 civilians at the hands of army personnel shook peace-loving people across the Northeast, India's capital, and Naga diaspora across the world. From students to elders, civil society organizations to even political parties, everyone condemned the barbaric act of the army personnel, and along came demands to repeal the Armed Forces Special Powers Act from the northeastern region, and the entire region was on the same page against the demands to repeal AFSPA. But was it though? Where do we stand on AFSPA? Will political parties for once listen to the people, and is the entire northeastern region on the same page against the demands to repeal AFSPA? These were some of the questions that immediately rose. Watch this episode till the end to understand how political parties and common citizens may or may not be on the same page when it comes to AFSPA, and why only protests and statements may not be enough to repeal the draconian act. I am Rifa Rekha and you are watching Decoded.
Pursuing for months.
A village of Assam
in the 75th Independence Day.
On December 26, 3 weeks after the Mon massacre and following numerous protests, the first signs of hope emerged. A statement from the Nagaland government said Union Home Minister Amit Shah will look into the withdrawal of the controversial Act AFSPA. And I quote, "It will be chaired by Additional Secretary Northeast, Ministry of Home Affairs, and will include the Chief Secretary and Director General of Police of Nagaland. The committee will submit its report within 45 days, and withdrawal of disturbed area and AFSPA from Nagaland will be based on the recommendations of the committee." Within hours, the media started speculating if this was indeed the beginning of the end of AFSPA. The move, however, did not in turn evoke much happiness or reaction in Nagaland, and for good reason. On December 31, putting to rest all such speculations, AFSPA was extended for 6 more months in Nagaland. The Home Ministry notification read, whereas the central government is of the opinion that the area comprising the whole of the state of Nagaland is in such a disturbed and dangerous condition that the use of armed forces in aid of the civil power is necessary. Now, therefore, in exercise of the powers conferred by Section 3 of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act 1958, the central government hereby declares that the whole of the state of Nagaland to be disturbed area for a period of 6 months with effect from December 30, 2021 for the purpose of the said act. This move left locals seething in anger. A law that justified the death of 14 civilians in the name of mistaken identity had been extended even though the state government demanded its repeal. The circular was in many ways a bitter reminder to Nagaland that when it came to AFSPA, the centre, not the state, was in charge. The December 31 announcement may have come as a shock to the people of Nagaland, but not necessarily for the BJP and its followers. The Naga People's Front, the Naga Students Federation, the Naga Mothers Association, the Konyak Students Union, and several other organizations took no time to condemn the decision in the most severe manner, and they found an unlikely ally in the ruling BJP's Nagaland unit. You see, it is not often that a member of the BJP speaks against army excesses in India. From Kashmir to Arunachal, the party has time and again justified army actions in the name of India's security. It wasn't a long time ago that Home Minister Amit Shah proclaimed, "Nobody can dilute AFSPA." Now pay attention here. Far from removing AFSPA, the Home Minister insisted that no one can even dilute the act, by which we assume he means no one can touch Section 4 and 6 of the act. If you want to know about these sections in detail, watch our previous episode of AFSPA to know more. The BJP has always been in favor of AFSPA. In fact, in 2019, when the Congress released its manifesto for the Lok Sabha elections, the ruling party launched an all-out attack over the grand old party's pledge to review the controversial act. Now, granted, Congress had mentioned the act in respect to Jammu and Kashmir, but Amit Shah in a statement said it was bringing a smile to the terrorists and separatists while lowering the morale of the armed forces. But Mon residents aren't smiling, are they? In these circumstances, it was nothing less than a surprise when the very next day of the massacre, Nagaland BJP chief Temjen Imna Along called the December 4 incident a genocide. There can never be any justification for such kind of massacre targeting innocent civilians. The innocent victims were laborers returning from a hard day's work and were not armed with any firearms whatsoever. It is therefore tantamount to war crimes during peacetime and amounts to summary execution as well as genocide. Who would have thought such a statement would come from a member of the BJP, a party that has continuously brushed aside all debates and discussions on such matters as anti-national? Along did not stop there. During a discussion, the BJP leader said that all legislators must stand together and adopt a resolution for the repeal of AFSPA, a law which should be repealed in any place across the country. This statement couldn't be further from the stance of his own party. On December 21, during a special assembly session called by the Nagaland government, Along called AFSPA anti-democracy. Here's what the legislator said.
There is no space for such kind of act in a democracy. No criminal can go scot-free. No terrorist should be left well to squander upon its people, but no security forces should also be empowered to take away the lives of innocent citizens of its own men, of its own country. Today, the Honorable Leader of the House, our Honorable Chief Minister, on whatever resolution on the repealing of Armed Forces Act is proposed, we shall stand together with him and each other and make our voice known as the August Assembly of the people of Nagaland, condemning such an incident and appealing that this act should be repealed from any place, not only from Nagaland, but from any place in this country.
Along's words resonated throughout the assembly, and it seems like one of the few instances when, at least at a state level, the parties shed their differences to come together over a common issue. Along is, of course, not alone in his criticism of AFSPA. Nagaland CM Nefu Rio, Meghalaya CM Conrad Sangma are also some of the political heavyweights that have thrown their support at repealing AFSPA from the region. But both Sangma and Rio are allies of the BJP, and at least for now, there is no talk of ending alliances or even trouble between the parties. You see, deaths and anger are temporary, but politics is eternal. Rio and Sangma both know that their political future will seem a lot hazier without the backing of the BJP, India's richest political party. The Congress is now calling for AFSPA repeal, but this stinks more of political opportunism than any real concern for the civilians. Let us not forget the Draconian Act was brought to life by the Congress party, and for close to 6 decades it was in power in all of Northeast, overseeing the atrocities committed in the name of the Act. The list of civilians killed in the name of AFSPA across the Northeast during the Congress tenure would be so long that the Mon killings under the BJP regime would seem like only a minor addition to that long list. The BJP is merely following the Congress playbook: express regret, give ex gratia, the promise of a government job, and never let the guilty be brought to justice. Remember Manorama? Who was the Chief Minister of Manipur then? Congress's Okra Mebobi Singh. Not just Manipur, Congress has watched army personnel commit excesses against civilians in Nagaland, Mizoram, Assam, Meghalaya and done nothing. To read about how extrajudicial killings were committed in the 90s in Assam, read the story by EastMojo. To say that now the Congress party cares about human rights, civilian safety, protecting democracy, and ensuring justice to victims would be both hypocritical and a big lie. And repealing AFSPA is not the only issue here. You see student organizations like Konyak Students Union, Naga Students Federation, All Assam Students Union, Khasi Students Union, and the umbrella organization of Northeast Students, the Northeast Students Organization, are not calling for the mere repeal of AFSPA. They are also calling for justice for the families, which entails bringing the army personnel who committed the atrocity to court and facing trial. And the unions have not been saying this only with regards to Mon killings. They have been speaking against AFSPA excesses for decades and have been documenting civilian killings for decades now. As early as 1998, Nagaland human rights bodies had approached the Supreme Court against AFSPA only to be left disappointed. They want justice for all the victims, not only Mon. Do you really think that tomorrow the governments, both at the central and state level, would yield to these demands and start investigating every case of atrocities against innocents? We are not trying to belittle the struggles of the people, but please understand that justice as we understand it would be impossible given that AFSPA grants immunity to the personnel. Take for example the recent Mon killings. As is customary, a complaint was filed in the Oting police station almost immediately after the murder of the civilians. Within days, the matter was moved to a 5-member SIT by the state government. The SIT will submit a report within a month. Until then, the issue will likely remain in focus. But what do we need to do if we really want AFSPA to be repealed from the region? Here's what human rights activist Bablu Loithangbam had to say.
All the political parties and all the people in the Northeast needs to come above and beyond ethnic identities. Unfortunately, for much too long, we are caught up in our own specific identity struggles that we are not able to go above and beyond those little cocoons that we are all tied up in. And I think this is a good opportunity, and we are seeing that this is happening now. The Chief Minister of Meghalaya has come out openly. Chief Minister of Nagaland, of course, have come out openly. Manipur Chief Minister, even though a bit late, have also tweeted that he is fighting for the repeal of AFSPA, and the voices are slowly coming together. We hope that this voice of sanity will prevail finally, and full citizenship for the Northeasterners should also come in very near future.
A month after the Mon killings, it is clear that the centre is in no hurry to repeal an act that has caused much pain and trauma to Indians in the frontier states. The review report of the committee formed by the central government is scheduled to submit its report by February, and it remains to be seen what the outcome will be and whether the report will have any impact on the existence of the act in the northeastern region. Nagaland is heading into elections soon, and the last thing Rio would want is for the BJP alliance to break. But we cannot only depend on our political leaders, can we? It is also up to the students' unions, activists, and the people of the region if they really want to see a positive outcome.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to EastMojo. For any queries, put them down in the comments section below and press on the bell icon for notifications.